So in the Pokemon Presents on Pokemon Day 2024, we got the announcement of a new Pokemon TCG style game, Pokemon Pocket, a mobile game that essentially highlighted a abbreviated version of playing the TCG. Now, Pokemon on their official website has gone out and posted this little blurb of the actual game, which I'll read here myself. The title being Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. And the article goes on to say, again, this isn't really like a full article, it's just this little blurb they have. But it goes on to say, experience the fun of collecting Pokemon trading card game cards with Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, an upcoming game for iOS and Android devices from Creatures Inc., the original developers of the Pokemon TCG, and DENA Co. Ltd. I don't know what that is. Again, I assume the Creatures Inc., they're the ones that came up with the rules and gameplay for the TCG. Like, they're the originators of, like, the actual, like, how the game plays. I was thinking about it. It was like, are they referencing the ones that originally made the cards? Because Wizards of the Coast were the ones that first made the cards. But with them saying the developers, I assume they're the ones that came up with, like, how the game plays. Like, how you use energies and the attacks and all that stuff. Like, the actual gameplay itself, not the specific cards. But the article goes on to say, never mind, I clicked on the Charizard DX card. Well, I wonder if I can show this on camera. Surely I can, right? I don't get in trouble for this. They got this really cool thing with, like, these 3D cards. Like, look at this. The Charizard card's, like, moving. Okay, it stopped doing it as soon as... Oh, no, there we go. It's moving again. See how it's moving around like that and the fire's, like, 3D? I think that's really cool. Something they're going to add in to make the cards, like, different in-game than they are to just normal Pokemon cards. Because, honestly, if it was just, like, the exact copy of just the normal Pokemon cards that we see in the TCG, like... how many people would really be excited about doing that? They have to add in something new to make it enticing for fans. But at the same time, like, hold true to what the Pokemon TCG already is and why fans already like it. And they kind of explained that in this next little blurb right here. In this game, you will be able to open 2 booster packs every day at no cost. So that's cool. Gives fans something free they can come in and do every single day, no matter what. Guaranteed for free. If you want to be free to play, you can still open 2 packs every single day. Because obviously with the TCG, what's the biggest part about it? Opening packs. So they allow you to open 2 packs every single day. Now, what are those packs going to be? Are they going to be some big dud poo-poo packs? I mean, honestly, since they're the 2 free packs every single day, probably. Are you going to be able to get good cards out of those packs? Probably not. Like, probably not. You're probably not going to be able to get some crazy good cards out of those packs. But still, like, they're at least saying that there. So, like, the idea is there. Hopefully, like, maybe when a new set comes out or something like that, like, they'll rotate what is available. Is that shiny? They'll rotate what's available. No, it's not. They'll rotate what's available for, like, the free packs and all that stuff. That would probably be cool. Hopefully, it's not the same stagnant ones at all times. But the article then goes on to say, you can collect digital cards featuring nostalgic artworks from the past, as well as brand new cards that are exclusive to Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. Now, 2 things from this. 1, the nostalgic artworks. Are they going to make it so you can open up old packs in this game? Or are they just going to have, like, new packs? Like, how I'm envisioning it right now is you're going to have every normal Pokemon set in there. So, for instance, Temporal Forces is the next new set to release. It's releasing at the end of this month in the English TCG. Are we going to be able to open up just Temporal Forces packs in this game? That's how I envision it. And then when they say nostalgic artworks, are we going to be able to open up base set packs in this? Are we going to be able to open up Skyridge packs? Are we going to be able to open up Aquapolis packs? Jungle, Fossil, EX Ruby and Sapphire, EX Sandstorm, EX Dragon Frontiers, all these cool nostalgic sets that we look back on. Stormfront or Plasma Storm, Plasma Blast, X and Y, XY Wild Blaze, or Wild Blaze is the Japanese one, Flashfire as the English one. Like, are we going to be able to open up all these cool old sets in this game? If we are, I'm going to fall in love with this game. I am going to fall in love with this game for sure if we're able to open up the old nostalgic packs on it. Because if you think about it, like, look at YouTube right now with the Pokemon TCG. Like, what's one of the biggest drives and pulls? Or maybe not as much right now, but like during the pandemic when Pokemon was blowing up to magnitudes it had never reached before. What was, like, the main driving force for content creators on YouTube that were doing Pokemon TCG stuff? Opening old packs. You know how many people want to open those old packs themselves, have the nostalgia from opening the old packs from their childhood and all that stuff when they were little. Like I said, I don't know, again, I don't know how I remember this. I have a memory of myself when I was little going to the toy store and seeing the Skyridge booster box sitting there on the counter. Now, again, the Skyridge had been out for years now at this point. I don't know how they had that there, but again, they had it there. I remember picking the Skyridge pack to open. I remember that emerald green, and I have memories of opening up these, like, the EX era packs. Those are the first ones I kind of remember, and then I have a lot of from my personal childhood collection from when I was younger. And if I get the opportunity now to open those packs up again, like, dude, the nostalgia vibes will be through the roof. Because, like, I can't just go open up those packs for fun. Now, a Skyridge pack's over $1,000. Like, dude, these packs are so expensive now, and it's so inaccessible to normal people. And I'm not saying, like, it's something that should be accessible to normal people. Like, they're old packs, they're not in print anymore. They should be expensive and valuable. But there's so many people that want to open them up, and they have an opportunity here to engage fans with those old packs by making them available in this right here. Now, again, this is literally just kind of elaborating on them saying nostalgic artworks from the past. This could be something as simple as, like, kind of how we saw Celebrations, the 25th anniversary set, where it had a handful of old cards in it, and it's a new set with those old cards in it. It might be something like that. It probably will be something like that, but I can at least hope that they have all the old packs and sets. And they're like, imagine if they release Pokemon Pocket and it has every single set ever released available in the game. Now, they probably wouldn't do that at the start. I assume they'd, like, stagger the release for when they release all these cards, or release all the sets, but I think that's something that would be really cool. And the article goes on to say they will have these immersive cards. Be on the lookout for new immersive cards, which will make you feel as though you've leapt into the world of the card's illustration. Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket is scheduled for release in 2024. Now, they mentioned the exclusive cards to the Pokemon Pocket. I assume they're getting into those immersive cards as well. One thing I want to note, the Pokemon card, or Pokemon, what's it called? Pokemon Card Pocket? What's the name of this? Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. Pokemon Pocket is what I'll just call it. If the cards in Pokemon Pocket are cooler than some of the cards actually printed, I'm going to be pissed. These cards better never be better than the cards they're actually printing. They always better have the real, legit cards be the top dog. Those better still be the best ones. But I think it's cool they're saying there's going to be exclusive cards to this game. And honestly, if it's the immersive cards or the exclusive ones, I don't care. That's not a real thing we can have. But hang on, there's like a graphic here. It shows, it's not loading for me. It shows like there's meant to be like these immersive cards here. Like I see the Charizard right here, and it's meant to show the immersive cards. I can't see it right there though. But one thing I want to explain here with this game that I think would be really cool. This once again ties into that idea of them having all of the old sets available in the game. Now, one game I've always loved to play was Pokemon Showdown. Now, Pokemon Showdown is not licensed by the Pokemon Company. I want to make that abundantly clear. That is not like something affiliated with Pokemon whatsoever. It is technically like illegal, I'm pretty sure, for Pokemon Showdown to be a thing. Although my favorite thing Pokemon Showdown has is it has different categories for each generation of Pokemon. For instance, my favorite category to play on there is OU. My favorite generation is Gen 7 OU, because I can use Megas and Z moves and all that stuff. That was the last generation with Megas, Gen 7 OU. And I can go play that. Even though we're amidst Generation 9 right now in Pokemon, I can go back and play Gen 7 OU. I could go play Gen 6 OU, Gen 5 OU, Gen 4, every single generation, I can go play it with the rules, regulations, and meta that was there while that generation was out. So, for instance, in normal Pokemon, when a new generation comes out, in Battle Stadium, that's how you battle here in game. When the new generation comes out, you can't go back and play in the old game and stuff. Like, in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I can't go back and play the old games and go play in the per the old rules with the old Pokemon. Like, for instance, one of the cool parts about playing Gen 7 OU, there isn't Dynamaxing. There isn't, like the Pokemon from Gen 8. There isn't the Pokemon from Gen 9. It's just the stuff that was there during that time. It's like, again, I think the best way to describe it is like, it allows you to play in the game how it was during that era of Pokemon. Now, that is for actual, like, competitive Pokemon. You can do it in VGC, with the VGC stuff as well, playing it for each, like, era or generation of that, each different meta. It's really cool how you can go back and play it per the rules of that. You might be thinking, why are you talking about that? That's like the actual Pokemon games. This Pokemon Pocket is about the TCG. If they have it to where every set is in that game. They make it so you can open up all the nostalgic sets from the base set era, from the Neo era, from the e-reader era, from the EX Ruby and Sapphire era, Diamond and Pearl, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Platinum, Black and White, X and Y, Sun and Moon, all the way up to modern day. Imagine if they had it so it's like the different Gen 7, Gen 6 OUs in Showdown. Imagine if they did that in the TCG. Because, for instance, during Gen 3, during the EX Ruby and Sapphire era, there was, I don't know what year it was, but one of the TCG champions had a Gold Star Jolteon in their deck. Like, the Gold Star cards were viable options back then. Nowadays, Gold Star cards, I mean, if you pull up with a Gold Star card, I don't know the TCG. One thing I do know is you're getting clapped. I have my Gold Star Metagross. That thing's got like 90 HP and does like 60 damage. It's not beating a V-Star Charizard that has 300 health and does 200 damage. Like, the cards aren't usable whatsoever. So, unless they're just adding those nostalgic cards in there to be just nostalgia factors, like, I assume with this game they'll want them to be usable in some way, because again, you don't have the physical copy of it, so it's not like you pulling the old nostalgic card. You'll just have a picture of it in game. Like, how's that any different from just looking it up on Google? So, imagine if they make it to where there's different categories of the game where you can go through. Maybe I want to go play during the Gen 1 era, and I can play in the Gen 1, and the only cards you can use are sets released during that base set era. Only sets from Jungle, or only cards from Jungle, Fossil, original base set, original Team Rocket, Gym Heroes, Gym Challenge. Maybe I want to go play during Gen 3, and you can only use cards from Gen 3 and before. So I can use cards from Gen 3, Gen 2, and Gen 1. Maybe I want to play in the Black and White era. So then there you have Pokemon cards all the way up to Black and White. The main thing I'm getting at is it limits what's there. So it doesn't make it to where it's just an open field of play where you can use any card that's available. It's like you're going back in time and playing how the TCG was back in 2012, back in 2003, back in 2008. I think that would be so cool. And honestly, for me, that might be the number one thing I'd want in that game, because I have never played the TCG before. I have never gotten into the TCG. I don't know, it just seems like it's just too much for me. Like, with the constant changeover of, like, the meta and all that stuff, having to keep up to date with buying all the good cards and that kind of stuff, like, that's not something I'd ever really want to get into. Now, they have the online TCG game. I have thousands of code cards for that game. I have never opened a single one. I don't plan on getting into that anytime soon. With this game, though, being designed as a mobile game, telling us how, like, one of the main premises of it is opening the packs and all that stuff. Like, I've played FIFA my whole life. I don't play anymore, but I did. And one of the coolest parts about FIFA was being able to open packs. And I've always said, like, I wish we had a Pokemon game like that. Yes, you have the physical TCG cards, but I'm like, I want to be able to, like, pull a good card from a Pokemon pack and be like, oh my god, that's going to be insane. Like, last FIFA, I pulled Team of the Year Van Dyke in FIFA. That was insane because not only it's super rare, it's the Team of the Year, but that's one of the best cards in the game. That's the best defender I could possibly use the rest of FIFA. And imagine if now I pull some crazy card that was, like, really good back then, and it'll make that card cool and special, because it's not so much in that game. Like, when you pull good cards in the TCG, it's about pulling the cards that are the most valuable to a lot of people. It's not so pulling the cards that are good in the actual game. With this, though, imagine if it's like pulling the cards that are actually good. Like, because there is no actual, like, numerical value to them. Like, I'm rambling here if I'm being completely honest. I'm just trying to spitball with all the different ideas I've had for this game, because with this game right here, I think it has so much potential. I think it could be so cool, and I'm gonna play it no matter what. And I'm so excited for it because it's going to be my first introduction into playing some sort of the TCG. Now, they did say in the trailer they showed for it during the Pokemon Presents on Pokemon Day that there is going to be, like, quick play, like an abbreviated version of the actual TCG battles. I am so excited for that. I am just so excited for this game overall. And the number one thing I hope we see from it is we get the opportunity to open up these nostalgic packs. Open up these old packs from the game. Let me open up a base set. Let me open up a Skyridge pack. Let me open up a Neo Genesis pack. Let me open up a EX Dragon Frontiers pack. I think that would be so cool. Imagine pulling a Crystal Lugia in that game. Imagine pulling a Gold Star Rayquaza from EX Deoxys in that game. I think that would be insane. And then to just add the cherry on top, make it so we can go back and play the TCG how it was during EX Ruby and Sapphire, how it was during Diamond and Pearl, how it was during 2012. Like, make us be able to essentially go back in time and play with those rule sets and with that meta. I think that would be so cool, and I'm just honestly so excited for Pokemon Pocket. I think it's going to be so sick. It's going to be such a fun game. It's supposed to release sometime in 2024, and we don't even have an official release date yet, and I'm still counting the days for when that game comes out. It is going to be so much fun, and when it comes out for sure, I'll be streaming that without a shadow of a doubt.